vacation. Sick in the head, but see the prize, my medication. Live from hell escaping the rise and set the pace in the vibe.
What's going on, everybody? My name is AT from Headcrack Studios, headcrackstudios.com, and this is Kill Sesh, a one-on-one tutorial with yours truly, AT, aka Logic Kill. And today, we're gonna switch pace a little bit. And I just gotta have a disclaimer. I gotta put a disclaimer out there right in the beginning. If you haven't watched my video on the C1 compressor from Waves, then go ahead and look to the top right now and click that video. I explain all the parameters of a compressor. All I did was just use the C1 compressor as my dummy, as my model for that tutorial. And it looks like this. So I break down every parameter. So I'm not going to do that today because I'm going to assume that you listen to me and click the video. And now you know a little something about compression. So today we're going to talk about compressing kicks. I said it. Yes, I said it. We're going to talk about compressing kicks. This is a biggie for all engineers, all producers, all music enthusiasts, because kicks drive the songs, just like vocals, just like the rhythm section of a guitar or a piano, all that good stuff. So let's just jump right in, all right? So we are still working with my song, the It's Still Your Mother Effing Set. Shout out to CT Fletcher. And we already did some EQing like we did before. And next video, I'll go over compressing vocals, but the kick is a biggie. So, here's the kick. And now let's listen to it without it. Let's listen to it soloed. All right, pretty decent. And this is actually how the kick came in. So what do I got it at? I got it at negative 4.5. So it actually came in kind of hot. There you go. Let's keep it there. So let's see. First things first, we want to check our meters. All right, so I got my metering set to pre-fader. I did that on purpose. So this will only show me the level of the actual signal. It won't show me level. Like I have it all the way turned down and you still see the levels going up. That's because it's showing me the volume of the signal pre-fader, pre-me turning it down. So bang, bang. That's why I turned it down. Because see that right there? We don't have a lot of headroom. Even though it's pretty good, I still want to go down. Let's just go back down to there. All right, let's jump right in, man. 3 minutes in, we're going to go in. So this is one of my favorite compressors to use for kicks. And yeah, for kicks, drum loops. I just mixed the track earlier. He sent the producer sent the stems, but he also sent the drum kit, like the actual all the drums in one stem, and I like that, so I actually used it, and I used this bad boy too. So I use this a lot. I love this compressor. And like I said, on the last video, on the C1 compressor, all of these are explained. Maybe not this one. This is just, I'll get to that in a second, but all of these parameters are explained in the last video. So go ahead and click that if I'm confusing you already. So here we go. So let's turn this off and let's find out what we want to do. All right. So first things first, let's just get this thing so we can see it a little more. All right. So the key to understanding compression and how to use it is understanding dynamics. All right. So let's play it again. I don't know why you're starting from there, bucko. Here we go. Let's do this real quick. Make our lives easier. That way we don't have to keep going from the beginning. All right. So, as you can see, here's the big transient, right? Here's basically the attack, sustain, decay, release, all that good stuff, right? The release is basically here. All right. So, in compressing the kick, we basically want to attack this, right? We want to attack that, bring it down just a little bit. That way, when we turn up the signal, this goes up with it, the release, right? And that equates to a fatter sound, okay? Now, there's ways to go about it. There's also tricks where if you play with the attack on the compressor and you actually compress this, it'll go up, all that good stuff. I just want to keep it basic, right? The intro, the basics of compressing a kick. So let's go ahead and hit the mix. So now we know, make this bigger for us. That way we know what we're doing. All right, so Turn this bad boy on. Now, honestly, I just click the tight kick because I use this a lot, actually, this preset, and I just tweak it accordingly. So let's just go ahead and click it. And I click host. The reason why I click host is because it matches itself. It syncs, to the BPM, which is what I want because I want the whole song timed out, baby. So let's go. All right. So as the kick is playing, you see it's working. Now, here's another important feature. Here's your gain reduction meter, right? Now, rule of thumb that I learned in school, and everybody can, we can argue this day in, day out, but the rule of thumb is I like to stay around negative 3.6-ish area. And there's a reason for that, because when you compress too much, you have the tendency to kill all dynamics. So this is obviously too much. So if you've seen the last video on compression, you know what the threshold is. So we're going to move this. Let's see. All right. So now we know we got our compression going at the level I want. I typically go to -6, depending on the kick, but this one is pretty soft. So now your attack. So this is how fast it's going to hit the kick. Actually, I like to go pretty quick, but maybe in the middle. That's where I like to go. There you go. And also it depends. Like for a more aggressive song, you might want to go a little harsher. Let's just go about there. There you go. Now the release, how I was taught and what I do most of the time is I keep the release the length of the kick. So let's just go to one, where it's one kick. So you see how the compression, the release isn't released. It's releasing actually in time with the kick right now. So it's pretty damn good right now. So look, if I make it faster. Yeah, no. So we want it a little slower. And it's a fast kick, so I mean, it is what it is. So it's gonna be pretty fast anyway. So we can honestly keep this like right here. So what that is, that's how long it takes the compressor to stop working. So if you have, kicks are pretty fast, but if you do have a really bassy kick, you might want to play with this and make it a little slower, a little faster, because you don't want to kill your dynamics. And punch, this is a feature of the H comp. This is, it just adds some dynamics and some oomph to it. Yeah, add a little bit of that. All right, now ratio. This is set to 5.5. That's pretty high, right? You can go all the way to 1.1, 2.1, 4.1. So I did explain this in the last video, so I'm going to go... I do kind of like I said, I like this preset a lot. I use it a lot, so I'm actually just going to stay here. All right, so now that we got that, so now that we know, right? Let's listen to the original. Compressed. All right, and there's honestly not a lot of gain reduction, so that's good. That's the power of H comp, baby. So let's see.
Yup, Mike.
All right. Let me quiet myself because I don't really want to hear me today. Now, if we did want, a good rule of thumb is to get the volume about the same. So we are a little quieter. So let's just turn this up. And I did go down -6 gain reduction, no compression, but I know it's not going to be that high. So let's just go to 3 real quick. All right, still a little louder. So let's go to 2.5 and see what's up. All right, so it's still a little loud. Let's go 1. And there's a reason why I'm doing this. I'll tell you in a minute. All right, so it's about the same volume, right? And you see how the compressed kick sounds bigger and sounds fatter. Let's actually check the levels. So it peaks at -6 right when it comes in. Let's see where we're at here. Basically the same. And it sounds a lot fatter, right? Turn it on. Yeah. And that's the power of compression. Now, this is what I actually do. Now, let's listen to it in the track real quick. Now, let's go again. Boom. Now, the reason why you do that, now you can play with the makeup gain all you want and, you know, to your heart's desire. But the reason why I level it out is just so you can hear what the compressor's doing rather than the volume gain, because people tend, especially when you're new at this, people tend to, especially me, I used to be guilty of this. I'll hear the volume change thinking that that's the compressor, when really all I'm hearing is gain, right? And then you're like, oh, it sounds louder, so it must be better, right? So you just learn as you go that, nah, just because it's louder doesn't mean it's better. So let's see what the compressor's actually doing. And I can actually probably go a little lower, like to 1. There you go. So now you see what the compressor's doing, and you can hear how the kick just sounds more fat. And the reason why is because we had a faster attack. Like I said, I wish we can see this real time, but, you know, I don't got the graphics. But listen, so what we did basically was compress this section, right? Boom. And then it releases, right? It'll release with the kick. So what's happening is this loud part is getting lowered, and these lower parts, when I make up the gain, right, when I turn everything back up, it's getting louder. So essentially, it's flattening it out just enough where we're getting a big full sound. And I hope I didn't confuse you guys. That's basically it. I do some other stuff to kicks and to drums to make them fat. Like there's this, if we want to get crazy. Devil Lock, I suggest getting it from Sound Toys. It is a beast. So it has crush, crunch, darkness, and mix, right? So same thing. Let's turn this H comp off. Crush is basically the compression. Now we do have presets, drums. Let's just do drums real quick. Let's see. See, thing I like about this is that it really accentuates any subtleties in a signal, honestly. Like, I didn't even know there was that much reverb on the kick till I heard it in this. Ready? Now, same thing. Let's turn this mix all the way up. So this is what the mix is, and it was on the H comp too. This is basically how much of the compression you're using, right? This is all the way up, and then this is blending in the original signal. So 10 is all the way compressed and, you know, processed, and then you go ahead and you turn it to 0, nothing's happening. They have it set to like 2 or 3, but let's just go all the way up. There you go. Now you can hear the compressing. Now that's a perfect example of what you don't want to do, but now you're hearing what OD, like super compression is. It's just compressing the signal. Now, if you notice, this is set like an an audio leveling destroyer, right? I love it. But this is old school. This is like emulated off an old school hardware piece of equipment. There's a lot of the parameters aren't here. There's no attack. There's no, oh yeah, it's right here. So the release is here, but it's like an automated attack. It really it goes off the signal. Let's just go a slower attack. A slower release. And let's just play with it. I'm gonna actually go. How do I go back to default? There it is. Now let's just play with this real quick. There you go. Some compression. Now this is distortion, and I'll go over that in another video. There you go. Distortion, in short, is basically harmonics that adds some character to it. So this is basically it's darkness, so it's basically cutting high end out and making it a little more warm and dark. There you go. Now we can just mix it in. There you go. Original. Yeah, I use this a lot, and I use my H comp a lot. Two different sounds. Yeah, I actually like double lock more, but it's what the song needs. So there you go, guys. Two different kind of compressions, but this is basically what you use to compress kicks. You can definitely use your stock compressor in Pro Tools or in Studio One, but what these are very linear, basic, very transparent. They don't add a lot of color. H-Comp, I love it because it adds a lot of warmth and some oomph. And Double Lock, you just heard what it does. It just makes everything beastie. So this is not an ad, but if I would get your hands on some beefier compressors, but you can definitely make it work with this. I've made it work with these before too. And I would just take a look at that C1 tutorial I did because it basically looks exactly like this. And you'll get it done, guys. So listen, like I say every time, any questions, comments, concerns, please hit me up. If you like this video and want to see more, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, tell me a comment, and hit that bell, man, so you know when I'm dropping stuff. All right? So this is AT Headcrack Studios, adding compression to kicks. Happy mixing, happy music making. Let's get it.